Watching Bivol.
Good shot there. That might have hurt Bivol right there. That was a overhand right.
He doesn't want to be too reckless, too gung-ho with it at the moment. Big overhand right there. Didn't quite land, but he just steps in.
Very well balanced, very technically well scored. There's a bit of a...
March 9th, Verona, New York. That night, Dmitry Bivol took part in one of the most underrated yet pivotal fights of his life. He headlined the event opposite Joe Smith Jr., a tough American slugger known as a dark horse. On paper, Smith looked like just another challenger who'd show up for a paycheck and leave with a loss. Sure, he had a thunderous punch, 20 knockouts and 24 wins.
Big right hand. He's out.
But in most people's eyes, he was still too one-dimensional. Meanwhile, Bivol was seen as a textbook champion. Sharp footwork, pinpoint accuracy, a high ring IQ, and endless stamina. Two fighters from different leagues. But the reality would prove far more complicated.
Pages here, Bivol looking very stern generally.
From the opening bell, Smith came forward aggressively. He wasn't there to outbox Bivol. He wanted to break him, with pressure, infighting, and pure power shots. But Bivol kept his cool, controlling the distance with his jab and denying his opponent any chance to unload.
Very much in control, very...
I wonder if it's been enough for him to win the round with a good finish to it.
Thinking about attack, he's thinking about defense, and then when he does...
So far as they just circle around each other in centre ring, moving straight in behind the right hand there, Smith. Almost like he felt. It's a good lead left hand from Bivol. 20 or so seconds ago, Smith just trying to jab his way in, got caught on the inside.
Him in, making him miss, pulling out of range, and then Smith kind of get...
The frustration probably comes from the fact that...
looking at the two fighters here and thinking about what Bivol said during the week that he could make, but Bivol certainly looked like he wanted to grab hold of Smith momentarily. Good right hand there from Bivol, solid right hand, timed that really well. He wanted to try and make an impression, get the respect of Bivol, but Bivol, good opening round from him.
Straight.
Little feints. Making out as if he's going to go to the body, then doesn't, just pulls back. He's always got you guessing with little feints. You're under a lot of pressure. Walks
around and that right hand certainly gave him a lot of, but he does step in to that lead left hook as he tried to there.
Yeah, well, I think that Smith's going to come out and look. More so than being hurt by anything. I mean, he's a pretty tough guy.
It's quite an Eastern European.
Joe Smith is so kind of preoccupied with his own defences that it's better to take one to land one.
Then came the fourth round and a wake-up call. Smith Jr. nailed Bivol with a powerful right hand, staggering him. The arena erupted. Could the unbeaten Bivol be on the verge of falling?
Here, but he doesn't want to be too reckless, too gung-ho with it at the moment. Big overhand right there, didn't quite land, but he just steps in after it.
But Dmitry stayed on his feet and denied Smith any follow-up. This moment proved pivotal. Suddenly everyone saw that Bivol wasn't just about skill, he had true grit. Over the next few rounds, the Russian fought more cautiously, continuing to build his lead while tension hung heavy in the air. Smith never eased off, waiting for that one split second to turn everything around.
Indeed, later stages of Bivol looking for right to the body there. Nice straight 1-2.
A few low blows, put their heads in there, elbows if you have to, whatever he has to do to win.
Difficult to see whether that landed clean or whether it was a glancing blow, but you could see from the replay there. Probably the thinking.
Yeah, without, he's got to rough him up, he's got to get close, he's got to use his size, he's the bigger man. Win a technical warfare with Bivol.
Smith just walking after his hands a bit.
The most important thing when you get hurt.
Fighter, the New York State fighter from Long Island. He hasn't been quite as extravagant with it in recent rounds than he was towards the start of the fight. Bivol trying to time that jab. Deal with Dmitry, started with a 10-rounder and had another one tonight. WBA.
You're just stuck there in no man's land, as you call it, and that's exactly what it is, and that's where you don't want to be.
Way down, but what it did do was tie Bivol up, but there's a minute and a half to go, and the Russian is looking to pour it on here. The damage he done, though, was there, because sometimes you see
Jumping in with the lead left hook there. Yeah, Joe Smith doesn't want this to become...
Sullivan Barrera can still saw out the full joke. But we'll have to wait and see. I don't think that's going to emerge during the course of the fight. And I may...
Without a doubt, he knew that he landed a solid shot and that it hurt Joe Smith. But Joe Smith, tough guy though, Joe Smith recovers very quickly. These are solid shots.
But these are punishing shots. Goes down. Really, he didn't have an answer to Bivol. Now it's more success with that kind of tactic than he was having in the opening 3 rounds. Okay, it's not perfect.
More success. Lovely right hand there from Bivol. Just met Joe Smith as Joe tried to close the distance.
Could be a slight problem, but he's not showing any signs of it at the start of the 7th round. We're into looking for that big overhand right for Bivol with the glove up. Able to protect himself. To get out of the corner, but he didn't quite manage to take it. He has now.
He's got to do this the hard way, as they say. He's got to make it a rough, tough, rugged affair. And I'm a more physical man. I can lean on you, I can pull down, I can try and land a few. That's it, and you cannot afford to get caught in that no man's land. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to feint you and trying to take that hard. It'll be difficult if he has perforated his ear, and it's a horrible injury. Happened to me a couple of times, and it totally affects. Going very side on here, defense behind the
target there, but back to the ropes, and Bivol just
and he nearly found it again in the 10th round. In the final seconds, Smith landed a right hook flush on Bivol's temple just as the bell sounded. Dmitry wobbled from the impact.
Shoulder there, Smith away. Smith again backs up himself, tries to get that guard in place. Realise the full extent of it, but I think Bivol there did. Front and back foot, that's what gives him such good mobility.
Left time, not necessarily because, you know, Gennady Golovkin.
As I mentioned, Bivol. Good shot there. That might have hurt Bivol right there. That was an overhand right.
In the championship rounds, Smith poured on even more pressure, throwing heavier shots. But Bivol rose to the challenge, stifling every attack and showing who truly ruled the ring.
Better. Yeah, nice 1-2 down the middle from him. Yeah, I think a lot of guys like to leave the left hand out there. It does block the vision of the fighter coming forward.
Be willing to take one, to land one. It's not getting engineer them, but at no point has he really looked at. So just under 90 seconds to go, and Bivol is all but there. Everything. So there was no great shame in that clubbing left hand. When you compare him to Callum Smith, for example, I don't think he would be. Smith physically would be bigger, definitely.
I think so. I think you're not going to break someone's heart by landed a really good right hand on the bell. And he's come out quick here at the start of the 11th. It's been a good round.
Good energy, good tempo, really looking to load up on that right hand. Heading up to the final.
Joe Smith is one of those guys. He is a toss. Again tonight, I think it's a fight that both with Matchroom would be an easy fight to make. Leaning in as if he's going to throw a shot. 2 good left hooks going in there, head, then switching it to the
exactly be difficult to make either. Looking for that left hand.
He's very very well balanced, very technically well scored. There's a bit of a WWE move going in there.
Well, he's going to get told off to go between Chris Eubank Jr. and James DeGanes. Available to the referee. It's not the case, so to block your opponent's view, I don't really see the problem.
Shook him a little bit. That's nice right hand, left hook.
Each other. They would be really high.
Good sharp hand speed there from first gear. Lovely jabs there. Head and body, then hooking up the jab. You watch his feet when he pulls out of range. Straight away, he's looking to get back in.
It's something that the referees can take varying views on, a bit like pulling it out the 2. But he's got respect for Joe Smith.
Shook Bivol, who I think, in hindsight, I think he was glad that was on the bell.
Nice combination from Bivol. Career 268 wins, 15 defeats in that Russian system. He never really got to the #1 spot though.
He could do super middleweight. He looks quite a bit smaller than Joe Smith.
Well, I was just miss all the time.
Absolutely, Andy. Tough guys like Joe Smith.
Everything landed completely solid, just a glancing blow.
Nice stiff jump from Smith. It's alarming and it's surprising how many times you just land that straight right down the middle after it.
He hurt him with that left hand. It just doubled Smith over and caused him to...
Yeah, I like that lead, double left hook. He mixes it up so well, he never... Everyone like heavyweight, huge for the weight. That's good work from him.
And he feels that he can't pull it then. If a fight were to end in those... Interesting there, Bivol just stuck out the left hand and just left it in the face of Smith to get through.
Yeah, I think so.
Stick with a double. Nice combination from Bivol. 10 seconds or so, right at the very end here. He's looking to really pour it on, and shots getting through there.
By the final bell, the judges were unanimous. Victory to Dmitry Bivol. It was his 5th successful title defense. Yet it was more than just another statistic. That night, Bivol proved he could do more than outbox opponents. He could weather a storm.
Bell, he made it competitive.
Gentlemen, we go to the scorecards, and before we do, Dmitry